This is Gina Hunt, and I have my exclusive guest today, a good friend of mine, and also, very intelligent young man, Mr. Rickey Corporan, telling me about politics today and what he thinks.
Hey, good evening. My name is Rickey Corporan. I'm here with my friend Gina Hunt, a good friend, co-worker at Harlem Hospital. Picture the homeless. Politics is good. I'm a political studies major in Lehman College. It's my senior year. You could do plenty of things. You could go into outreach coordinator, which is like work within the community, or you could go into teaching, whatever, because I study film and I couldn't really find a job in film because things is tough. But I like politics, it's a good major. You learn about the world today.
Okay. Now tell me, with all of this, and this is about to become a race for the White House, how do you feel? What do you think is going on? Do you think that people are talking about what we really want to hear, or is it a lot of propaganda?
I think it's fair what's going on in today's world, because I saw the Republican debate, because, you got to learn what your enemy is like planning, because you're voting Democrat, but you got to learn how to check out both sides of the debate, even though I'm not for that party. I like Ben Carson's speech about like how he relates tithing, taxes for upper class, like you give your 10%. Let's say if you have $1 billion, you got to pay up for like $100,000 if my math isn't correct, because that's 10% of what you own. That's like church,
Yeah, okay. And I know you're very spiritual. Do you think that what they're saying makes sense, or is it something that you see right now and you hear it right now and you just know that it's something that can't work? What do you think about what's really going on, I know we know the root cause of the problems, but where are the solutions? Are they also available, or are they nearby?
The solutions is getting there, but it's just, I'm for the Democratic Independent Party because I want Bernie Sanders to win. Bernie Sanders is for the people. Okay. He cares about the young people. He wants subsidized college loans and things of that nature, because, us minorities, we're struggling paying off college loans from our pockets. It's kind of crazy. I have to work 2 jobs to pay off these loans, and I'm in debt. And I want to vote for someone that is like for me.
I see.
Not that appeals to my views. I voted for Obama in 08 because, he's a good politician, not because, we're the same skin color. I just like politicians that is for the people when they're not right-wing.
Okay.
Because, I would vote for Hillary Clinton, but it's just her views is so right-wing. Like, it's too conservative for a Democrat, and that's going to throw people off guard. And once people get into her views, it's going to be like, they're going to run amok. It's like, oh my God, it's crazy, because, she's a good president, don't get me wrong, and Bill Clinton saved the day, back in that era, in the 90s. I was a part of that. That's really crazy.
Now, you mentioned a lot about education.
Right.
And that, to me, is like one of the deepest uprooting and also lifting part of, the world today. I mean, not just here in the United States, but of course everywhere. But I don't know how we can define education. I'm thinking that we also promote a lot of things that hate when we think about war all the time as a settlement or a way to progressively move forward, and that troubles me a great deal. However, I do understand that sometimes individuals or force of mind we might need to make some type of a stand, but I'm not sure if it's always war being the answer. Tell me what you think about that in politics. Do you think that we can, as a people, spiritually inclined, start thinking more about people and the animals and the water and the environment and things like that? That's also a part of our living existence, the different species that really, as you know, there's no one to blame for all the destruction but us, the human beings.
Yeah. I think we should learn how to educate each other, It starts from a home, Growing up, we never had much, but, education is like the key to open doors, The more educated you are as a person, the more that you will succeed, because the thing is that nobody in my family that I know hasn't had a good education coming up, because, we're like fresh out the boat Dominicans, right?
Right.
And my grandmother had a 2nd grade education, and she was working in factories because times was hard during those era. And my grandfather, he built the first bridge in the yard. He had a 6th grade education because, it's like you teach yourself. If you don't go go to school. Learning something new is very fundamental. If you don't go to school, it's good to teach yourself. Not a lot of people that I know never go to school and they teach themselves and they go on to do better things. Look at the rapper Nas. Nas is like the best illest MC alive. He didn't go to school. He dropped out in the 8th grade. And he taught himself like how to read dictionary, write poems. He even taught himself how to read the Quran.
Which is heavy duty, a different language.
Which is heavy duty.
Yeah.
But do all that stuff, that's kind of be amazing because there's some people and go to school, the degree that they want and never get the job that they wanted. Look at me, I'm still hustling, going to school, working a side job, this, that, and the third because I want to get by. And getting by is kind of hard, but you know, we have to have faith, you know, like in the Bible, it says, if you turn on to 2 Corinthians 5:4, it teaches us to walk with faith and not by sight.
And I think our leaders that are in the Senate and the Congress, what would be your message? What would you like to teach them today from your heart?
I would like to teach to like the new president generation that learn something about the people that you're conveying the message to, because you know you got to learn your demographic.
Right.
Because if you learn your demographic, it's going to be easier to understand what you're getting into, because not a lot of presidents is for the people. They're just in to win it for money because they have a lot of money built inside their campaigns. Like I said before, I would like a president that supports like my views, understands us minorities, we have to go through every day to pay mortgage, police, things like that, just to have a safe and better life for our children and families to grow. Could write a letter like to President Obama and he'll put you on air, because it happened to numerous people.
Okay.
I've seen it on Facebook where this girl that I went to school with, she didn't have a cent in her pocket, and she, by having faith, she told President Obama, listen, I want to go to school, I want to study X, Y, and Z, please help me. And then what happened was that the next presidential debate, all her problems was like solved by Obama on air, and it's pretty crazy because, you know, it's just walking by faith, you know, it's just, but faith, it has hard work and not able to give up.
Okay, all right, and I also consider that to be true. Say for a lot of the problems that are beyond our control, that these things. What do you think about these makers of guns and weapons and?
Well, the makers of guns and weapons is good because, you know, we have the Second Amendment, the right to bear arms. But the thing is, guns don't kill people. People kill people, you know, because, you know, it's just how you defend yourself and how you perceive to defend yourself. It's good to have a gun, but it's just with a permit, because the thing is that, because, you know, you could turn the safety off and it runs amok. Because it happened to my pastor this one time when he got snatched of his vehicle driving all the way from Washington Heights to the Bronx from a Bible study. And then this Caucasian American officer just pulled him out of his trunk, and he wasn't doing anything. He was just like trying to go out his business, but they thought there was a shipment of something illegal, but it's nothing but Bible. When he was like snatched over this ground, he was like praying like don't let the gun go off, because you know guns could go off at any moment. Like the safety.
We scared to death. It was doing his prayers, but if and then that's something we also have to talk about is police. What do you think about police here in New York City? Because we're affiliated with New York. Honestly, I don't believe guns are that easy to get here in New York. However, I know that there's there's ample kids, ample crime.
It depends on the area you're in, because guns is easier to get in the inner city more than city where it doesn't have crimes. You could get a gun easier than you could get a bag of chips in your local bodega.
Really?
Yeah, because, you know, like I was watching this interview on Black TV about gun control by a rapper that I listened to. His name is Lil Herb, and he was talking about you could get a gun easier than you could get a bag of chips at your local bodega, because a gun, even though it costs thousands of dollars to get with a permit, but you could get it for $20 if you have the right connects. But
well, that's very disturbing to me then.
yeah.
And therefore, then that means that I know that guns don't kill, but I'm just thinking of with just self-awareness, that's something that we're going to have to address to anybody that's running for the president about that, because lives do matter, all lives.
All lives matter.
And so since they do, and you say that, I'm very concerned about that.
Right.
I know that at certain points in particular different decades, some things become more state attraction. I mean, I don't know if I won't deal with age or anything, but just some things become so popular at certain times. And it seems to me that maybe the guns it's just because there's been way too many funerals at killing innocent children from times,
guns.
killing innocent people who are going to the movies or out, killing people in the universities. It's something
guns
wrong.
law is crazy here because it's like an estimate of like between 20,000 to 30,000 gun deaths per year in America. Because I was watching this great documentary, it's a Bowling for Columbine, where they talk about like gun violence in general in our schools, and people weren't born evil like Hitler. You know, people, it's just like the environment they're in, whether it's poor, whether it's rich, poor, black, white. It depends on the situation, though, because...
Well, first of all, I would like to tend to think that these individuals that we're talking about have a history, a deep mental issue. That wasn't detected, that went by. Do first at all at home, where the families just refused to accept what was happening, and sheltering their loved one.
I think people should be like a melting pot instead of a salad bowl. I think we should learn how to like work with each other, how we could prevent X, Y, and Z from happening, and not treat your brothers or sister like grimy, because I believe we're all brothers and sisters in this world. You know,
Absolutely.
Whether we do evil stuff or good stuff to each other, we're humans at the end of the day. We're gonna go to the same place at the end of the day. We just gotta learn how to like treat each other,
interact,
educate about different races, different cultures, you know, different things.
And we have to plant these seeds of goodness.
Exactly.
And we need people that are running for office to first bring back the main thing, the basic things, which would be the humane cause, humanity, and what's best for humanity. To not each and every day think about making so much money, but each and every day, what can we do to revitalize this earth and this planet so we can successfully live on in this existence, the human race species.
Right.
And that should be first and foremost.
Right.
And also, then tell me about the other problems. I mean, of course, what you say about the people that just don't even get a chance and don't even have anything. What about the homeless, and what about just freedom of speech? What about just being able to have education for free? What about jobs for free? What about
everything for free? Yeah, it's kind of crazy here, but it's just like
because initially in our Constitution, don't you really believe that that's what was meant, the language?
As Americans, we're doing whatever we can to like survive, you know, because the thing is like, first of all, like the homeless, it's good to like help out each other when things don't go right, you know, because it comes from the heart and without grumbling and complaining. Like if you read the books of Philippians, struggle with a little bit of money issue, but it's just like, try to give to the homeless. You give whatever you can, you know, like if you got food or something, because just give them something so they could depend on, because homeless people are people too, you know.
Absolutely.
Because even though they gonna buy crack, which is pretty rare. I remember this one time, this lady had cancer, and me and my sister, we were just waiting for our dad to come out of his job because we were in double parking, right? So this lady had like, her nose is ripped off like the Taliban. She was homeless, yes, but then she said she had cancer, but it wasn't no cancer. I didn't really give her at my time because I don't want to give my money to the homeless, even though they're gonna do potential to do bad stuff with it. But at that time, I wasn't really a Christian at that time. I just didn't give her my money, and she said, go expletive the F word to yourself, and she went about her business like I went about my business, because you know people is just scary like that.
Right. Well, we have to be careful that we say and that we don't stereotype, because then what about all the homeless people that are making a difference, that are going to Albany, that are and here's the thing, we know that we have good and bad. Our politicians know that too. What can we do to really encourage people to become a part of the better us, the profile that would stem from working hard to receive, and also never keeping our hands always tight, allowing things to be able to get in and get out, and that kind of spirit. So what are we talking about when it comes to creating the jobs? What are our politicians saying right now? What have you grasped that any one of the number of politicians that are running have talked about sound development, or a good way to go, a good project that will help America get back on its feet and be working, where we won't have a very small, minute maybe of, I don't want to say fall through the cracks, but individuals that maybe still may not be able to find a way to success. Is it going to continue with the way it's been going? Because just financially, it's been a nightmare.
Yeah.
That's my understanding, and I see that the economy and everything else in it
Right.
is through an assumption of what people think it should be.
Right.
It's through an assumption of what people think it should be. And that's so scary, and it's just tragedy that what they think it should be. What about reality check? What it really is, what it's really worth.
Yeah.
Why does everything have to be so expensive?
Yeah, it's crazy, especially in New York. It costs money to breathe here. You know, like a few months back, the thing is just like they raised the Metro car prices like from $250 to $270. It's getting harder and harder each day to like live here because
That's even some.
Yeah.
Well, what do you think about the people that, for an example, because here it is, sometimes you have to just think about what's best. And even if you say you do want to make that move to have a car to get around and stuff,
Right.
it's impossible to park.
Right, it is.
It's you're talking about the fare. You could be talking about parking could be $20 or $30, and if you should make a mistake, forgive you for a ticket could be $150, $200
yeah,
bucks.
it's crazy, man.
And that's not counting the gas and the toll or whatever else you did.
It's not.
Something is truly wrong. And the thing is, if this is all on an assumption, why can't our people in charge of the government that's supposed to be working for the people, why won't they do anything about it?
Because the thing is, like, people in the government, like, there's some people in the government that care about...
They're out of touch with us. Is that
They're out of touch
problem?
with us, which is correct. But sometimes it's just kind of like a wish-washy situation. They say that they're for the people, but they're not, because there's some politicians that are, and there's some politicians that care about money and spreading, like, different types of propaganda. Like, before running for presidency, Donald Trump was for the people and he was a good man. But it's just, you know, once you reach a certain level of stature, your ego becomes inflated and you start saying things and doing things that you really don't mean, like saying racist views, like we need to build a wall for the Mexicans, and that's not right, you know.
I say all these things, and these things, yes, people say, but at some point, wouldn't it be wonderful if we can get the Donald Trump, the Hillary Clinton, the Ted Cruz, and all these people to come out and talk with us, the people, and explain to us their plan. And it doesn't matter if we have master's degrees, if we're a millionaire, or if we're the poorest person on the planet. As a citizen and a person that's paying taxes, we have the right to know, and we have the right to be able to. So that, Rickey, was about the best. I want to thank you for being my guest. It was a pleasure and a privilege.
As always.
Yes, thank you so much.
Anytime. Thank you for watching this interview with Sylvia Gina Hunt and Rickey Corporan. Now stay tuned for a music video by Ron Amber Deloney and her friends.
Yeah, you know the song. Bobby, it's all good. Appreciate y'all for tuning in, listening to this project we got going on right here. But, you know, we finna get into some real, like, you know, some real gangsta shit. They throw parties on these days. In love with women getting slashed on the side of the road. And their stories are only told for as long as it takes Facebook to refresh. It's not sad, it's a sick, twisted, hot ass mess of a deal. AIDS is real and the kids and they don't believe in contraception because they can't feel nothing. And feeling is detrimental for knowing when to say no. So if you can't be sentimental, then well, welcome to a nation of bitches and hoes and niggas and bros and homeroom. Their language is the paintbrush that paints their blues in brown. The transcript of young folks who stroke themselves into a solitary sound where they all go down, but they don't get back up. Did I say AIDS is real and the kids is knucking and bucking at the system, cut down by too many bullets, aimed too fast at their backs, and their feet are too slow to move out of the way. They get more play on the concrete ground than on the house floor, and their fashion is slowing them down. Pants sagging round, the shit's focus. The beats they jam be banging, though the lines they spit ain't clever, and they don't mind. They hear rhyme and think they got time. So the rocket's red glare shines a heavy light on their sandy brown eyes, but the glow ain't natural. We tell them the truth, no one is going to save you, baby. Let your Uzi weigh a ton and blast it from between your vocab. Remember the pull north and the drinking gourd. Remember penny loafers bloody with tooth and brain, bashed by baton and signs that read, no Mexicans and no dogs. So dance your Dougie, but let your shoulders rise twice the height your great grands fell. And try not to spill your sister's blood all over the turntables, lest her words cry out like Nina and Sarah Vaughan. Back of the throat, you cry to it when you talk tight. Feel them when you spit.
Walking around on these city streets, trying to wipe away my blues. Ain't got no time to be complete. Gotta be halfway with these blues. Get your foot off my neck.
These days you can't only beware of the devil, gotta stay prepared to fight his advocates. This soul ain't a window to shatter by bullets, a fracture by arrows they throw to kill this heart we hope would see. The poetry of poor dreams is painted across war scenes, canvassed on street corners, prison walls, and caskets. No reparations for what's priceless, for single fairy godmothers who suffer and worry after midnight, working to make these kids graduates, afraid to lose them under streetlights. The truth is gift wrapped in our youth, that's how the heaven sends us signs. And the reasons why they do their best to destroy us is cause spiritually blind men can't read between timelines, or else they see. You don't need no fortune teller to tell you how much power is in these palms. Where veins carry biblical strains of all things beautiful and tragic, and when cut they bleed songs. Those elder prayers of love and order, for knowledge is faithful, and ignorance is once a cheater, always a cheater. Our strength had no choice but to stretch into oceans, cause tears are saltwater teachers. Beware of evildoers, dressed in uniform, who move like wolves torn from storybook pages, who will speak in languages of change when we rather be fluent in lies these days. But there is never any right and wrong. Need more freedom songs and music. See, check this movement of bones that don't break by any stick stones. You know those systems you create. This heart be made of phoenix ash, cause it's a fire conqueror. Skin tells an Egyptian past, cause we be pyramid stronger. I bleed ancestor dreams, sweat out plantation prayers. Been protected by an armor that you may never ever see, but I promise you, it's there. They don't want you to believe it, but I believe it.
Walking around on these city streets,
You gotta show it.
trying to wipe away my blues.
Ancestor dreams, plantation prayers.
Ain't got no time to be
Protected
complete.
my armor, y'all.
Gotta be halfway with these blues.
And it's there. Yeah.
Get your foot off my neck.
Gifted all things melodramatic. We potent from the physical to the ethereal. Connected by the melanin to the whole of cosmology, we were kissed by the sun and made to hold the light. But somehow beauty became a blind spot, a thing in need of redefinition. Constructed race, gender, and class are now signifiers of the people's future and past. She, object in demand of control. They, good to look at but not good enough to see. She, a mockery of her own likeness. They, struck voiceless, powerless, motionless. That bridge called her back, carried soldiers to battle. Guided the warriors to purpose and recorded it all for the memory and the history, but mind-fuckery got the whole of humanity mad at their own femininity, forgetting to release the layers and investigate the curves. Civilization suffers a downturn and we all suffer just trying to be down. The finale, minimal brown faces in meaningful spaces, while everybody loving pussy but hating the ladies.
Walking around on these city streets, trying to wipe away my blues. Ain't got no time to be complete. Gotta be halfway with these blues. Get Get your foot off my neck. Year round, it's winter in America. With praise and thanksgiving, we living for the gifting. Sitting through the lifting of burdens unending. In the early hours of the morning, we are the darkness that works the alchemy. Heating up standards and twisting. What stone cold statues conceive as God leaf chiefing and chorus blending. This is the tail end of beginnings. No sleep until Earth stops spinning. And underdogs start winning. Saving our own souls like home run in the 9th inning. We be the global formula with cosmic force unyielding. Anti-gravity building. And we still do that cause we still believe in chillin'. Ain't picked that cotton cause we was willing to stay physical under the shield of unexplained historic positioning, where fate and future do all the dealing of cards in the hands of autopiloted children like we, who claim these shoes ain't fitting. Damn, they hurt. So where do we go from here? Where we going? Without the crown of redemption, we going around repenting without our knees bending, backstroking out our tax exemption on billboard charts in third dimension. We don't need you to listen, but rather glisten with our false dreams of beaming. Wake up from platinum-coated dreaming. This here's what it seems. This here is deemed essential. A monumental scripting in black blood and pencil, hanging, coated in the hum of silence, drenched in the warmth of melanin, spitting out parables till we worn and thin. Insanely, we are lost in translation. And the more we live, the less we know. Walking around on these city streets, trying to wipe away my blues. Ain't got no time to be complete. Gotta be halfway with these blues. Get your foot off my neck. Year round. Walking around on these city streets with praise and thanksgiving. Trying to wipe away my blues for the gift. Sitting through the lifting of ain't got no time to be complete. In the early hours of gotta the be halfway with these blues. Heating up standards and get your foot off my neck. Stone cold statues walking around on these city streets. This trying to wipe away my blues. No sleep until Earth stops spinning. Ain't got no time to be complete.